Falcon with the F.C.P Podcast, coming straight to you with another episode. So here we go, moving straight on, episode 17, MySpace film reviews, right? As far as trying new things, though, I got to give a big bonus to two people going on here. One is Andrew Bradley, 23 years old. He's a male from the UK. And he hit me up and he said, check this out. I want you to watch Who Is Me. And I was like, okay. Now, I got to go ahead and say the first thing that he had on there was a 39-second experimental clip. Now, what we just talked about a couple minutes ago, shortness of these films. 39 seconds. I was like, oh, awesome. I'll get to see this guy's quality of work in 39 seconds. It was an experimental film. Now, experimental films, they intrigue me because of the fact that I really don't know what they are yet. I mean, they're experimental, so I get that, but isn't almost anything out of the norm experimental? And I'm not trying to make a joke. I'm being completely serious here. I don't understand what experimental films are yet. So if you want to let me know, let me know. This was definitely an experimental film. It was out of the ordinary. It was like this person dancing to some music, and they looked out there, but I liked it. And the reason I liked it is because it took a chance and it tried something, and yet it kept me entertained. Which brings me to the film that Andrew wanted me to talk about, Who Is Me? It's kind of a documentary. It reminded me a little bit of a film I watched called Tarnation. Now, Tarnation played at Sundance, was picked up for distribution, and put out on DVD. Tarnation is a great movie. You can find it at Netflix, Blockbuster, but bear in mind, you're not going to watch a normal kind of movie. Tarnation was kind of like a psychological trip into the mind of this person who was doing a documentary on themselves. Now, Andrew does the same kind of thing here, but it's not supposed to really be like nothing really bad happened to this kid. In Tarnation, the kid was like, a lot had happened in his life that made him the way he was. But in Andrew's Who Is Me, Andrew really hits on something where I felt that I knew him. I really did, and I got a piece of Andrew in this small 10-minute documentary. And to be honest, I didn't even need 10 minutes. I didn't mind the 10 minutes. But in the 3 minutes, the first 3 minutes where he starts talking to the camera and you hear his voice and you start hearing his stories and you hear his questions, and it really intrigued me. Now, near the end, I do have to say, he started to do this thing where he's talking about people giving their opinions of what he needs to do. And bear in mind, Andrew, when I say this to you, I'm giving you my opinions like everybody else does. My biggest problem with this film would have been near the end, when your voice kept changing from slow to fast. And I understand what you were doing. I did get that. But I loved it the first 30 seconds, but it went on just a little bit too long for a couple of minutes. But if you're out there and you want to watch something new and something, I guess you could almost say cutting edge, it kind of reminded me of like EdTV, but darker in a way. Check out Andrew Bradley's Who Is Me? It's a documentary, and of course, for all the good films and all the bad films that I talk about, on the website, you guys are going to be able to click on the links to go directly to their site. But that one was definitely worth the time. It wasn't high budget, but it was experimental, and it kept me interested with what seemed like no money. So major props to that. And So wrapping this up, you guys, we had some wasted times with The Gardener, James Allen Veens from Like a Robot Productions. We had just mildly waste of time with Dark Knight Productions, Antoine McKnight's Scourge. We had it was worth the dime, but bear in mind this is not one that you guys all need to rush out and see. It was called Pursuit, Blind Date Productions by John Allen. Remember, this one is one to watch if you're just kind of having a good time and you're not expecting too much. And another one that was a waste of time would be Machete Demon, El Basilic Films, David K. Payne. And of course, the two or three that really hit me up, Andrew Bradley, Who Is Me? Definitely huge worth the dime. And I, Mark Berry, Home Alone, huge worth the dime.